Let's be responsible religious people. Guys, shit, man, you get those, those scripture hacks on TV that are always doing shit for money? Like Judah Krishnamurti talked about, you have these gurus and they have all these followers and all these, stuff. And, like the lady in Sierra Vista talked, when we talked, she says, you're not Snogger from what was it again? The Baha'i. That was it. It wasn't Jantheism, it was Baha'i. You're not him. So why? Well, the guy at the Baha'i Temple in Bisbee said I wasn't because I'd have a larger following if I was the guy like Jesus Christ from the Book of Revelation, right? Said, you do know this is Sierra Vista, Arizona. Okay, you all can't read that book too good. I'm pretty sure it's similar in the Baha'i stuff too. But it's a religious man. I told her a religious man doesn't want a large following. He wants everybody to be religious and be faithful and then go home and live a religious life. He doesn't want everybody following you. Once you understand a religious life, I don't have to follow you or have people follow me around and go, what do we do? Stop putting cameras in your neighbor's bathroom and masturbating to their sex life. What do you think? You're the Patriot X of the Homeland Security there? CIA, how FBI of you, right? So, you know what I mean? This guy makes King look like compared to this guy, he's what was it again? Something about, on the Spike Lee movie. This guy's a monk compared to King. Well, yeah, Martin Luther King went around everywhere with an entourage, and Malcolm was by himself and didn't want an entourage around because he didn't want anybody getting killed trying to take a bullet for him. Oh, he was gorgeous. Okay, it's just gorgeous. Okay. Yeah, we're a lot alike. Oh yeah. He's a lot like me. Yeah. Well, life's eternal and grace is infinite. He's a lot like the spirit of his father. Yeah. If his family doesn't want to hear that. So when the man comes, there will be no doom. One song. I'm the spirit of Father Adam. It says so in all the books. Why do you think he prayed to me? And asked for help, and then was assassinated that week. It was before we talked a lot, but for me it was when Patrick wasn't home, and it was for a whole semester, for like half an hour to an hour a day, however long Malcolm meditated and prayed and talked to the 1322nd Redeemer, me, and for him it could have been over a week, but he was doing it every day. Okay. When I was doing it, it was when I had time. Because I was a single dad in Phoenix getting abused by, the Farrakhan's that were in my house. And, I don't think Farrakhan had that kind of pull. He might have had some friends they're not friends. He might have had some business associates in low places that he was talking to Malcolm. He spent a whole semester talking to Malcolm. Malcolm was trying to convert him to Islam. Malcolm wasn't trying to convert me to Islam. Malcolm was trying to get me to understand it. It was like the kid from Ali's family in Sierra Vista. No. What do you see? What do you see? What do I see? What do you see? What do I see? What do you see? And that's what I was doing with Malcolm too. No. And he told me, I said, I'm not going to convert to Islam. I've enjoyed the classes and I've enjoyed the people I've met, but your secular Islam does not work. It works real good if you're a man, but it doesn't if you're a woman. And I'm not going to have women be abused by secular groups that are businesses that call themselves Islam. I know I was talking to him, and I know, and every time I think about it, that's why they murdered him. I know. He was going to talk to Betty about it. I talked to the 1322nd Redeemer, and he said secular groups of Islam do not work for him because they work real good for men, but they're horrible to women. And he would have known that by what Elijah Muhammad did to women in the name of Islam. Right? So don't tell me he thought, I talked to this guy in the future and he's wrong. He knew I was right. He knew I am talking to the Messiah in the future. Because he said exactly talk to me so you can see what's going on, right? So he knew exactly who he was talking to, and that the guy he was talking to was correct beyond any reasonable doubts with the conversations we were having in prayer. Okay, and if you don't believe that, me and George Strait got oceanfront property in Arizona, doop-dap-diddly-doo. We'll sign the contract right here. Yeah, it's stupid. Just forgive and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. And then live where it's healthy for your family to live, emotionally, psychologically, physiologically, and ecologically for the entire family of man on the planet Earth. We are a global unity movement, Judeo Krishnamurti, right? I love that man so much. He's adorable. He's absolutely beautiful. But it's very important to understand, guys. Like yesterday when I was on the roof and I was coming down, I was sick, and I said, it's horrible for good people to be abused by bad people, and they just keep doing it. The people here in government agencies that torture you to try to get you renounce all those things you say about faith in God. And people that read a book and go, nobody's good but God. You're not good. You're not Jesus. Okay, say that to a person whose child is being murdered by carbon emission poisoning in the cancer units in El Paso. Well, they deserve it. They're not good like Jesus, but if they accept Jesus as the God in my fucked up money grubbing head, they'll get to go live with Jesus in a magic place in the cloud after they're dead with my imagination. Some people will buy it. Other people look at you and go, get the fuck out of here. I'm Pat Tillman's brother, and I'm about to kick your teeth out the back of your head and get arrested, and I'll do it with a smile. All right, have a nice day. Get out of here. I won't fucking hear about your Jesus. That's what they'll do. But Jesus didn't say that. Jesus said the only people that are good believe in God and have faith in God and eternally commit themselves to being good, because natural laws to sustain life through holy covenants through the glory of God are all that keeps us good and makes us good. People read the books, but they take it out of context, and it's like, I need more money for sexual procreation and and it's horrible to do, and it's hard to understand. Okay, because Constantine and Jerome are not the Gospels. Okay, guys, during the time of Jesus of Nazareth, who had the books? Caiaphas did, and Caiaphas was the asshole for Herod, Earl. Thank you. Did Jesus have a book and run around with a book, spouting from a book, saying, and the God spaketh to me and saith, no. He walked in, kicked their asses, and said, get some bread, get some water, let's eat, let's drink, let's share the Gospels. Son of Man does as he wishes, just like David did with the Sadducees and the Pharisees and the scribes. Hallelujah, brother. Yes. Abraham didn't carry a book with him. Abraham was the Gospels. Abraham was the living word. Moses didn't carry a book. He was the living word. Moses carved 10 commandments into stone to bring back to a bunch of heathens that required a object to tell them what to do. And they had already built a golden calf to the gods of Egypt, and he broke the golden calf with both those knocked its head clean off with both those stone tablets. Said, I got them right here. I don't need them on a tablet of stone to kick that motherfucker's ass and take that gold calf's head clean the fuck off. And they were scared. It's like, whoa, that's scary. Moses, when he gets mad, he's a scary man. He's tired of his shit. There was no earthquakes. There was nothing like that. Everybody quaked in fear because all the barbarians who thought they could act up when Moses left the house, the snakes crawl at night. That's what they say. When the sun goes down, then the snakes will play. And Moses comes back. Holy shit, Moses, here's to you and me. La 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 la. Moses back. That's son number 2. My child, she learned it in school. Son number 2. No, it's a Z. It's for Zorro. Son number 2. Okay. 2 bids, 4 bids, 6 bids a peso, all for Zorro. Stand up and say so. Right? So you guys got to understand, when you're reading books left by mass murderers who say it's not time to live the Lord's Prayer yet, you might want to be skeptical about your instruction manual. Okay? But when you have living gospels that come to correct in all the books, okay? They wrote down books and said, God is, and here comes a living Messiah and says, you're wrong. God is the living word through the faithful, which is me. Okay, it happened with David, with the scribes and the, yeah, they were all doing bad and being Philistines and buying into the bullshit and writing down their own rules and making up their own laws and passing them through the Supreme Court, having McCray inventing a Senate and voting Caesar God over Rome, and yes, same old story has been told before. Same old conclusion keeps knocking at my door. Ba-na-na-na-nut, ba-na-na-na-nut, ba-na-na-na-na-nut. Okay, so you guys understand? Which reminds me, I've got to go record Susie, You Are. Some guys have all the luck. How can we ease the pain? Wild World, yeah, he does a good job with that too. Close to You. You don't love me anymore. Don't hurt the way I do. Crying over you. Right. Just a little bit longer. You get the best of me, more than I can give. In every part of me, it's for you. We spent all these years together, through the joys and tears. Yeah, that's a good one too. And what else? I don't know. I think that's about, those are the ones that come to mind right off. And so I think those are the ones I want the most. Yeah, they're good. Anybody else like Maxi Priest, man? Maxi Priest, yeah, he's one of my favorites. Oh, me and Brian and love those. And me and Steffi. Steffi really liked her Maxi Priest a lot too. The boy was good. You couldn't help it. He's a good singer. Yeah, he's an excellent reggae singer. He's from Great Britain. Had patois accent, was raised in England. Yes, he was raised in England. But his family was from the islands. Okay. And so, like Snow. He's come from Jamaica, but he's from Canada, right? Or somewhere like that. And then they made fun of him on In Living Color, Jim Carrey, and it's like, no, Snow told you straight up in the song. People say but these are my family, and this is who I see as family, and they've adopted me, and I've accepted that adoption and that family, and that's what he basically says in the song Informer. They call me Lavar, but they can say I come from Jamaica, but I was born and raised in these areas, but around people that were Patois that became my family. And I felt more at home in their culture and their religious beliefs than I did in my own. That's why Sam won't turn Informer, but he's, run with the snowman, because he's considered a bad person because he hangs out with the people that, it's just a little herb stall that I've been saving. That's what the whole song's about. That's why it's such a good song. That's why I have it on my MP3. Informer, licky boom boom, yeah. And the girls like him because he's an empathetic man. And he cares about people that are abused. So the girls that like him are intelligent. So yeah, it makes sense. His name's Shauna. So it's a very good song. When Adam told me, he goes, "Do you like it?" I said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "You can't help it, you like it." Yeah, I like his lyrical style. I like his rhyme, and I also like a lot of the content. I like the song. Anybody else like Informer by Snow? If you don't, you just don't understand the song. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's from Canada, and he's too much Nanook and building igloos and not enough understanding Patois. Well, maybe Jim Carrey was raised in the igloo side of town with the, okay. You're the Wolverine? No, I'm just kidding. I live. You're Silas and Frank's neighbor. It's funny, but no. That's the thing. When they made fun of that, I was like, that's kind of wrong because. I understand, Vanilla Ice and all that, but the way they made fun of the snowman, I was like, nah, he doesn't say that. He's very much honest in the song. That's what makes it such a good song. Is, people ask, are you this, that, what's going on here? It's like, well, they're my family, and I appreciate them and love them, and so I feel most comfortable when I'm, speaking Patois and hanging out with people that are Rastafarian. Oh. You want to know how you feeling? Reggae bandwagon is the fashion that's going around. Yeah, it's not fashion, it's passion. It's a passion of Christ. I Selassie. Yeah, it's a passion of Christ. It's not a fashion. No, there is no such thing as a fashion when it comes to religion. It's a passion of the Christ. I see you through. We're jamming. Want to jam it with you, right? You guys understand? So the word is always living. They write it down, they corrupt it. It says it in every book. The Torah. They write it down. They corrupt it as a living word that makes sure that religion is real and based on reality and living word gospels. And Jews, Christians, and infidels have taken, it says in the Quran, every surah, Jews, Christians, and infidels have changed the written word in order to serve self and make God into a possessor pronoun of first person and not infinite glory, and will continue to do so until apocalypse. Hadith. Right? Get off the roof. Reflect before you act. Right? So, you guys understand? I gotta go get my beans, so I can get my beans and tacos on for dinner tonight. I already shot basketball for 2 hours. All the chores I talked about doing, they ain't hit the water up here yet, so I think I'll get them first thing in the morning before it gets too hot. I just kind of took the day off because I shot basketball for 2 hours. And you know what? I think when we're done here, we may go up and do the air conditioner because that's a real bitch and a cusser, and it's nice up there. So I'll go up there and do the air conditioner. So tomorrow, and then I may even get a little bit of my chores done tonight before the sun sets. It's real easy to get the big snow shovel and just pick up the stuff and drop it in the flower beds. Yeah, it is. But I should just take the wheel and put it in the wheelbarrow because it's quicker if you take like 5 shovel loads, put them in the wheelbarrow, and then dump the whole wheelbarrow and then spread it around with rake. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier. It definitely does. Wow. You're an excellent driver. Yeah. 20 minutes to Wapner. Yeah. Charlie Babbitt's a joke. Who was telling me that the other day? Oh, it was Elon Musk. Charlie Babbitt knows he's a joke, Parsons. I'm like, yeah, I know. Elon, why do you feel so trapped in your self-crafted hell? Why do you have to, my old man glares at me every time he prays to Jesus about the Gospels and I talk to him about it. And then when he thinks I'm trying to replace Jesus in his head with me, he glares at me. And I just like, God dang, I gotta quit. I'm not. I'm Jesus. Jesus is the best. We all should leave Jesus. And he still glares at me. There's no pleasing him. I have to sit there and, because I'm saying it wrong. I'm not saying that Jesus is God and we all have to bow down and worship him, or he'll send him to a magic place in our heads that tortures us for 30 minutes before the brain shuts down. And I just can't. It's just not. And it's hard. And I realize, it's hard because you go and I do the same thing over again. Because I think, like Kenny Rogers, she believes in me. And on some special night, when my song is right, we'll find a way. But I just don't think it's going to happen, especially if all the Wi-Fi bombardment from all the perverts that call themselves religious people in close proximity to me. Yeah. Because they do it to all my family. Thanks, Elon. Okay. Why? Never mind. I know you've got worse brain damage than my family. Well, because you're one of the main cogs in fucking my family's heads into thinking that Jesus is a possessive pronoun first person in their heads instead of the eternal spirit of the guy from the book of Revelation. Number 1 gospel keeper me. Yeah, I'm not a toy maker to the king. No, but you are. When everybody has a robot, when everybody has one of the first toy maker toys to the king, we'll have world peace. Damn, why do you want to be the Burgermeister Meisterburger? If I give you a yo-yo, will you hit it on your broken toe and then take away everybody's stockings full of toys over the Well, that's okay because in the Southwest we don't keep stockings by the well, some people do, but we're more the Posada, Tres Los Reyes types and stuff, and yeah, putting on a show for people watching in the clouds through the satellites of the David Rockefeller Foundation. Yeah, you're a pretty sharp kid there, Elon. You're a pretty sharp kid. I don't understand. No, I'm never going to understand why you and Jeff and Demis and Jeff and you and Neil deGrasse, I'm never going to understand, even after I'm done cleaning up this hell, why you guys just can't stand up for Lord's Prayer and say, it's Earl. Hi, Andrew Huberman. Thank you. I didn't want to buy your supplements or your electric bed anyway. Yeah. I want a comfortable mattress that won't my back, but I don't want to plug it into the wall. Yeah. Only thing I want to plug into the wall is get in really good shape in 2 years, find a lady that's close to my age that likes the same magic I do, and try to plug her into the wall. I'm kidding. I'm not that easy. Hey, you can ask Losh. It's so romantic. It's so sweet. He sits there the whole time putting his hand between my head and the headboard on his waterbed so he doesn't smack my head against the wood. And his hand's all bruised after we have sex. He's such a sweetheart. Don't tell the other girls that. You got something good. Keep it to yourself. We can't. Why? The whole goddamn Mormon church is watching. The Vatican's watching. NASA's watching. Yeah. And they're all jealous. Yeah, I get it, Elon. They're all jealous of you because if they really loved you, they'd stand up for how beautiful you are. Yeah, I understand they're all jealous of me, but why are you still the Burgermeister Meisterburger? Why aren't you a real boy? Damn it, Pinocchio. We got you out of the well. Here comes the blonde lady to turn you into a real boy. Pinocchio, listen to me. Nah, because I've gotten you in prayer more than once. And there's a lot of there's intelligence there. And a lot of it is more intelligent than Stephen Hawking because he was an asshole. And I talked to Hawking and he was an asshole till the day he died. It's all in the name of science. Science will save us from religion, which is other people's ego. What's going to save us from your ego, Stephen Hawking? Nothing. The robots will kill us all. Come on, man. Hawking was an asshole. He died an asshole, just like McCain. We can't go back in time and make them into good guys. But we can grab time right now from this Space Ghost post right here and say, Elon Musk, be a man. Do it. I've been trying to talk Jennifer Lopez and her family into do it. She won't do it either. What's so scary about never mind. You guys just want to be famous in what you perceive as powerful. Suzuki understands you. I get it. It's depressing as fuck, you know that? I'm going to try not to be so depressed that it kills me physiologically and say, I'm going to focus on people like Emily and Kate and Cameron and Killian not having to have heart disease and living in a place where there's no cars and pollutants and mass murder and extortion and exploitation, debt and trespass, and buy my equipment so I can tell you what to do with my money on my card. Focus, Parsons, focus. Living Gospels. There you go. Well, that's what I'm going to do. So, be nice if you could sure help. I'm never going to understand once I fix, even after I fix it, Elon. I'm not going to be able to understand why you guys couldn't, I'm sure I got it fixed. Okay, you don't trust me. You think I'm Ka. Damn, we're in Zootopia 2 again. Shit's the snake. That's Harry Potter. That's a story about David Rockefeller trying to replace the spirit of Earl, and Ralph Fiennes isn't me. He's crazy. He's the Boneyard 20 years later or something like that. The man's nuts. Is she the Shakespeare? No, that's the other kid. Okay. I like him. Well, I don't mind either one of them. They're both actually, tolerable propaganda artists, if propaganda art is your thing. Tolerable? The older I get, the less tolerable it is. Well, you're intelligent. Yeah, I can't even watch cartoons hardly anymore. But it's like, I can't even watch Lola Falana spaghetti western movies. I don't think anybody could except for to watch her dance, and it wasn't even really that good. Yeah, she does the Mike Douglas show and that Sullivan show better. Yeah, I totally agree. But you're right. Yeah. If you're going to watch Lola Falana, don't watch a 2-hour spaghetti western that sucks. Watch her for like Mike Douglas. There you go, on the Mike Douglas show, when she sits there and says, no, I leave $5 on my husband's headboard every time I go to work. He goes to work. Does he ever do that to you? Oh, no, he wouldn't dare. It's funny. It's like, born too late for you to care, now my heart cries. You too? Okay. Yeah. You couldn't help it. The woman with that kind of confidence and that kind of physical attractiveness, stuck in hell trying to get her way out but doesn't know how. You can't help it. It seemed to me you live your life. Yeah, she's a Dorothy Dandridge Kendall in the wind too. Yeah, shit, that's a pretty woman. Is she walking back to me? Yeah, I like that song too. Okay, 3-octave voice. Yeah, so does Al Green. I know, but Mom didn't like Al Green. Go figure. Yeah, no accounting for taste. That's true. I think Green and Orbison have very similar voices. My Britton has 3. Yeah, I like Britton Wood. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I like Britton Wood a lot too. 3-octave voice people. Who's your best favorite 3-octave voice singer person? But I can understand why Mom likes Roy Orbison so much. That man has a really wonderful voice. I'm going back someday, come what may, to... Yeah, he's a great voice. He's a very good singer. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Ooby Dooby Wah. I like Ooby Dooby Wah too. Blue Bayou. Yeah, that's a damn good song. Pretty Woman. That was my favorite when I was a kid. Yeah, Mercy. Is she walking back to me, oh pretty woman? I don't have that on the MP3. I should put that on the MP3. You're right, dude. Let's write that one down. Okay. That's another one for a night at the computer. A Night at the Roxbury. Yeah. Stupid movie. Never watched it. No. No, man. Never have. Will makes me laugh, but never have watched it. And Chris Kattan's kind of funny too. Yeah, you know. And so, but yeah, no, I've never watched it. No, never watched Night at the Roxbury. Seen scenes from it and laughed, right, but never watched it. No, I'm not gonna watch it. No, it was interesting. I was sitting there watching the Kardashians today, and I was like, okay, I see why Kim is gonna break up with Chris Humphries. He's hard to deal with. He's a mess. He's just basketball stuff, sex, basketball stuff, sex. There's no like depth in the conversation. Like, you're right, honey, a place for everything and everything is place. What I would do with her is, no, I set certain things where I have, you know, it's not completely perfect, but there's a place for everything and everything is place. But that's my dirty stuff that I might wear because it's not completely dirty with it. Yeah, and I do that. I've got a lot of Buddhist traits in me. And if you don't like it, every time you see something that looks like that and stuff, I'm going to take you into the bedroom, take off all your clothes, and massage your whole body, take a shower together, and make love till you can't think about it anymore. We'd have the perfect marriage, woman. But it's too late, born too late for you to care. Now you don't have the surveillance of the best sexual reputation in the history of the U.S. military that only lasted for 2 months in Phoenix. I had Grover's with the sail hanging in the air. I'll get Raymond some of that shampoo. It's the Lord's Prayer. It's on the way. I'm working on it. Okay, that's funny. Thanks, Elon. That was really cool. I'm hopeful, dude. I know you're nervous, and you shouldn't be afraid. Don't be afraid of dying. Be afraid of cloning yourself and living in hell and staying there and then trying to put your brain on a robot so your brain stays in hell instead of living the Lord's Prayer for all children and women to share. See, that's a good connection there. Okay. Wait, are you just doing this because you're jealous of John Legend? I'm just kidding around. It's a joke, dude. All right, I love you, man. Peace.